Advertisements out of The People of the Abyss by Jack London. Heretofore published at $1.50 novels by Jack London. The Call of the Wild, with illustrations by Philip R. Goodwin and Charles Livingston Bull, decorated by Charles Edward Hopper. A tale that is literature. The unity of its plan and the firmness of its execution are equally remarkable. A story that grips the reader deeply. It is art, it is literature. It stands apart, far apart, with so much skill, so much reasonableness, so much convincing logic. New York Mail and Express. A big story in sober English and with thorough art in the construction. A wonderfully perfect bit of work. The dog adventures are as exciting as any man's exploits could be, and Mr. London's workmanship is wholly satisfying. The New York Sun. The story is one that will stir the blood of every lover of a life in its closest relation to nature. Whoever loves the open or adventure for its own sake will find The Call of the Wild a most fascinating book. The Brooklyn Eagle. The Sea Wolf, illustrated by W. J. Aylward. This story surely has the pure Stevenson ring, the adventurous glamour, the vertebrate stoicism. 'Tis surely the story of the making of a man, the sculptor being Captain Larson, and the clay, the ease-loving, well-to-do, half-drowning man, to all appearances his helpless prey. Critique. New editions in uniform binding, works of F. Marion Crawford. Via Crucis, a romance of a Second Crusade, illustrated by Louis Le. Mr. Crawford has manifestly brought his best qualities as a student of history and his finest resources as a master of an original and picturesque style to bear upon the story. Mr. Isaacs, A Tale of Modern India. Under an unpretentious title, we have here one of the most brilliant novels that has been given to the world. The Heart of Rome. The legend of a buried treasure under the walls of the Palace of Conti, known to but few, provides a framework for many exciting incidents. Saracinesca, a graphic picture of Roman society in the last days of a pope's temporal power. San Dilario, a sequel to Saracinesca, a singularly powerful and beautiful story, fulfilling every requirement of artistic fiction. In the Palace of a King, a love story of old Madrid, illustrated. The imaginative richness, the marvelous ingenuity of plot, and the charm of romantic environment rank this novel among the great creations. Popular, prized editions of books by Louis Tracy. Books that make the nerves tinkle, romance and adventure of the best type, wholesome for family reading. The Pillar of Light. Breathless interest is a hackneyed phrase, but every reader of The Pillar of Light who has red blood in his or her veins will agree that the title saying applies to the attention which this story commands. New York Sun. The Wings of the Morning. Here is a story filled with a swing of adventure. There are no dragging intervals in this volume. From the moment of their landing on the island until the rescuing crew find them there is not a dull moment for the young people, nor for the reader either. New York Times. The King of Diamonds. Verily, Mr. Tracy is a prince of storytellers. His charm is a little hard to describe, but it is as definite as that of a rainbow. The reader is carried along by the robust imagination of the author. San Francisco Examiner. New and cheaper editions of books by Mr. Hamilton Mabie. Poetic in conception, vivid and true in imagery, delicately clear and pure in diction. These little pieces belong to Mr. Mabie's finest and strongest work. Henry van Dyke. William Shakespeare, poet, dramatist, man. Professor F. H. Stoddard speaks of his work as almost unique in Shakespeare's literature, in that it is a continuous and thoroughly worked out study of the whole personality of Shakespeare. A book of old English love songs. Edited by Hamilton Mabie, supply illustrated with drawings and decorations by George Wharton Edwards. One of the daintiest specimens of bookmaking, designed to serve both as a gift book and work of reference. A book of old English ballads. Edited by Hamilton Mabie, supply illustrated with drawings and decorations by George Wharton Edwards. The aim has been to bring, with moderate compass, a collection of the songs of the people. Extract from introduction. The Quest of Happiness, A Study of Victory Over Life's Troubles by Newell Dwight Hillis, pastor of Plymouth Congregational Church, Brooklyn, Clough, decorated border 75C postpaid. It is a consummate statement of the highest conception of the nature of human life and of the only methods by which its meanings and possibilities can be attained. A serene satisfaction with God's method of moral government breathes from every page and makes the teacher trustworthy. Charles Frederick Goss. The Quest of Happiness is Dr. Hillis' very best book. It is strong, vivid, clear, and has a certain indefinable human quality which will be sure to give it a large circulation and make it a source of great helpfulness. Emery H. Bradford, pastor of the First Congregational Church, Montclair, New Jersey. I find The Quest of Happiness a very rich and beautiful work. It is eminently a book for the home. Philip S. Moxon, pastor of South Congregational Church, Springfield, Mass. Happiness? Essay on the Meaning of Life by Carl Hilty, translated by Francis Greenwood Peabody, professor of Christian Morals, Harvard University, Cambridge. Great numbers of thoughtful people are just now much perplexed to know what to make of the facts of life, and are looking around them for some reasonable interpretations of the modern world. To this state of mind the reflections of Professor Hilty have already brought much reassurance and composure. Brewster's Millions by George Barr McCutcheon. The hero is a young New Yorker of good parts who, to save an inheritance of 7 millions, starts out to spend the fortune of 1 million within a year. An eccentric uncle, ignorant of the earlier legacy, leaves him 7 millions to be delivered at the expiration of a year, and the condition that at that time he is penniless and he has proven himself a capable businessman able to manage his own affairs. The problem that confronts Brewster is to spend his legacy without proving himself either reckless or dissipated. He has ideas about the disposition of the 7 millions which are not those of the uncle when he tried to supply an alternative in case the nephew failed him. His adventures in pursuit of poverty are decidedly of an unusual kind, and his disappointments are funny in quite a new way. The situation is developed with an immense amount of humor. Other books by the same author? Grosstock, The Story of Love Behind the Throne. Castle Cranecrow, The Sherrolds. Handsome cloth-bound volumes, 75 cents each. At all booksellers or send post-aid on receipt of price by the publishers. The popular novels of A. W. Marchmont, now offered in handsomely made cloth-bound editions at low prices. Few writers of recent years have achieved such a wide popularity in this particular field as has Mr. Marchmont. For rattling good stories of love, intrigue, adventure, plots and counterplots, we know of nothing better, and to the reader who has become surfeited with the analytical and so-called historical novels of the day, we heartily commend them. There's life, movement, animation on every page, and for a tedious railway journey or a dull rainy afternoon, nothing could be better. It will make you forget your troubles. The following 5 volumes are now ready in our popular copyright series. By Right of Sword, with illustrations by Powell Chase. A Dash for Throne, with illustrations by D. Mary Smith. Misa, How to Lay Secret, with illustrations by Claire Engel. The Price of Freedom, with illustrations by Claire Engel. The Heritage of Peril, with illustrations of Edith Leslie Lane. Large, 12 more in size, handsomely bound in cloth, uniform and style. Price 75 cents per volume, postpaid. The following books are large 12 more volumes, 5 3/4, 8 1/4 inches in size, are printed on laid paper of the highest grade and bound in cloth with elaborate decorative covers. They are in every respect beautiful books. Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe. A new edition printed from entirely new plates on fine laid paper of extra quality with half-tone illustrations by Louis Betsy. Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. A new edition of Bunyan's Immortal Allegory printed from new plates on fine laid paper with illustrations by H. M. Brooke. The Wide, Wide World by Susan Warner. Printed from entirely new plates on fine laid paper of superior quality and illustrated with numerous drawings by Fred Pegram. The Little Minister, Maud Adams editions, by J. M. Barrie. Printed on fine laid paper, large 12 more in size, with new cover design in gold and 8 full-page, half-tone illustrations from the play. Prose Tales by Edgar Allan Poe, a large 12-more volume bound in cloth with decorative cover, containing 11 striking drawings by Alice B. Woodward, a biography of the author, a bibliography of her tales, and comprehensive notes, the best edition ever published in a single volume. Ishmael Self-Raised by Mr. E.D.E.N. Southworth, with 2 volumes in a flat box or boxed separately. Handsome new editions of these 2 old favorites with illustrations by Claire Engel. The First Violin by Jesse Fothergill, a fine edition of his popular musical novel with illustrations by Claire Engel. Each volume in a box, price $1 each. Grosset and Dunlap, New York.